Hey guys, it's Shadow, and welcome back to Conspiracy. Um, Today's conspiracy is really weird, and yeah, it's just weird. It's called the Phantom Time Hypothesis. It was basically constructed, built up by two German historians, Herbert Illig and Hans Ulrich Niemitz. Yeah. And basically what they say is the entire period from 614 to 911 AD, a period of 297 years, never happened. And they have a lot of points to this. They say the difference between the Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar, and let's get to this really quickly, because this is the third time I've tried to record this video. And I want to get it done quick. Okay, the Julian calendar, devised by Julius Caesar. It was a solar calendar with 365 days a year, 12 months in a year, with a leap year every 4 years. If that sounds like the calendar we use now, it's very similar, but it's not the same. And the reason it's not the same is because the Julian calendar got offset by 13 days. And that was a problem for the church. So, in 1582, Pope Gregory the 13th, Pope Gregory the 13th devised the Gregorian calendar. And it's very similar. It's still a solar calendar, still 365 days a year with 12 months in a year, and a leap year every 4 years, except for years divisible by 100, but still including years divisible by 400. That's basically a leap year every 4.124 years, or 97 out of every 400 years. And the reason he did this was to bring Easter back in sync with the calendar date that it had been set on, the date of the Council of Nicaea, which was 1,257 years before Pope Gregory the 13th did that. That did not correct the entire problem of the Julian calendar. The Julian calendar, if you were still using it, was of course still 13 days offset. And the Gregorian calendar only fixed 10 of those days. But that's because Pope Gregory the 13th didn't care about fixing the 13-day offset. He just wanted to bring Easter back in sync, because that was very important to the church. And they say, and Illig and Niemitz say, that these are also problems. The scarcity of archaeological evidence that you can date back to that period of time, 614 to 911 AD. And while there is a lack of evidence, and excuse the background noise, my brother is listening to some music. Actually, I'm gonna tell him. Never mind. But while there isn't a lot of archaeological evidence that you can date back to 614 to 911 AD, there's still archaeological evidence that we have dated back to that period. They believe that inadequacies of radiometric and dendrochronological methods of dating this period. There were some inconsistencies in dating artifacts from this period, but that was just a minority of them. We still dated a lot of artifacts back to that period of time. They say that the presence of Romanesque architecture in 10th century Western Europe, about 500 years after the end of the Western Roman Empire. Think about this. Think about this for a second. The people who ruled Europe after Rome fell were a bunch of Germanic tribes who didn't care about developing their own architectural style. They just copied the Roman buildings around them. And that style stuck with the rest of Europe. Yeah, it stuck. And, sorry, I'm wiping off my screen here. So, the rest of Europe kept it. And they were still getting influence from, the Eastern Roman Empire. And they say there's also a lot of falsified documents from the Middle Ages. There was a conference, an archaeological conference in Germany in 86 that discussed that. There were documents with forged dates, forged people, forged agreements. Most of them were forged by the church. They use that as an argument. But the church would not fake almost 300 years of history. And other evidence against this stupid idea is we do have astronomical observations from the ancient period. We do have a lot of those that fit in the timeline with modern observations, suggesting there's no phantom time. And one thing, the massive chink in the armor for Elig and Nimitz is they focused on Europe. If you check China during this time, there's no phantom time. China proceeded as normal. They recorded that time down. And there's a quote from somebody. He said, "For the phantom time hypothesis to be true, some European dude had to go over to China and convince them to fake an entire dynasty and have fake archives of it." But yes. But yeah. So. And another one of their things is that they believe that Carolingian French emperor or Frankish emperor Charlemagne never existed. And they say this. They say that because he is regarded as an architect, an astronomer, an educator, a philologist, a folklorist, a lawmaker, a statesman. They say that he did so much stuff that he had to be a mythical figure. Or there was just the fact that Charlemagne was awesome. But yeah. But honestly, who in their right mind would believe this? $297 years of time that never existed? No. That's not... We wouldn't have done that. We were too busy doing other stuff. But yeah. Some people actually do believe it. It's almost as stupid as believing that the Earth is flat. Which I'm going to cover that. It's not really a conspiracy theory, it's just a stupid idea. But yeah, see y'all later. Peace.